everyone, it's your girl Pearl. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is where we talk about everything related to health, wellness, and mindset to help you improve your life, feel better, and thrive. Today we're talking about my core principles and values when it comes to health and wellness and the things that I really like to preach to the people I work with. So if you're interested in learning more about me, how I think, and how I like to coach my clients, and the key principles that I use in my daily life, please stay tuned because this video is just for you. I think it is so important to really have some key principles or values in your life that you follow, things that can influence your decisions and the choices you make to really help you improve your life, improve your health, or whatever else you're working on. Having core values that you abide by really helps you stay aligned with your purpose and things that you really want to achieve in life. I find it makes my choices much easier when I know the direction I want to go, and if anything that doesn't align with that, then I say no to. I want to share with you all some key concepts and principles that I like to follow in my own life and things that I really work with my clients to also achieve in their lives. Now, these are just some things that I like to do. Everyone's different. Other coaches are going to have other different principles as well. I think it's important to just get an idea and take what you need, leave what you don't, and add to your toolbox when you're making choices about your health. The first thing I'm going to talk about is my principle of food first. I strongly believe that we can get most of our nutrients, vitamins, minerals, macronutrients, micronutrients, all the good stuff from food. I always try when I'm working with people to encourage them to eat food and get all the nutrients that they can from food. And then after taking a look and assessing, if they can't get all they need from food, then we'll do a supplement. If you've watched my other video called Support Your Immune System, which is here, I talk about the importance of vitamin D and how many of us don't get enough vitamin D. For example, I'll try to maximize the diet and the food that we're eating, getting a variety of foods, making sure people are including all nutrients and adding really nutrient-dense foods, having a wide range of foods that are going to really help nourish them, but knowing that some certain nutrients such as vitamin D we can't get adequate amounts from food or from the sun, considering our circumstances right now, then I will really suggest them to take a supplement of vitamin D. This is very individualized for everyone. Some people have other health issues, other complicated histories, malabsorption in some areas, so some other supplements might be needed, but I know I try always at first, do food first, really maximizing their intake. I find that most people aren't actually eating adequate amounts of the certain things that they need to be eating to really be fueling their bodies properly. So I really work on the basics first before we add any other thing. I believe getting a strong foundation down of healthy eating habits will really help people in the long run. So getting that worked out first is so crucial to anything. So my first principle is food first, always. The next principle that I love, and it's actually one of my favorites, is eat what you like. This is one that I cannot emphasize enough. Too many people restrict their favorite foods and things that they really enjoy eating just because they think, oh, I can't have that. Oh, no, that's not good for you. Oh, wow, like that makes you fat. There are so many different options for people, and I really believe that eating what you like is so important. Now, that doesn't mean that you go and eat all the junk in the world or eat cake every day, but it means knowing, being aware, having healthy boundaries, and forming that healthy relationship with food is really important. So you're in a place where you know that, okay, I like to eat cake, but I'm not going to eat it every day. Or, okay, I like to eat some vegetables and that's great, but I'm not going to eat the vegetables I hate because then I'm not going to enjoy my meals. For me, helping people form a healthy relationship with food is what matters to me the most, because how we think about food and how we approach food and mealtime can really affect our health in the long run. So I really want to prevent any negative implications and support people through the process. So eating foods that you like, in every category, I know people can find the things that they like, and it just has to come with trial and error, spicing things up a little bit, switching the method of preparation, using new recipes, and just being innovative to really figure out what works for you. And that takes time and effort, and that's something that's not going to happen overnight. But I know enjoying your meals is something that I enjoy oh so much, and I know everyone loves eating food and really wants to enjoy their mealtime too. So eating things that you hate is a no-go for me. I will never ever suggest someone to eat broccoli if they don't like broccoli. For example, for me, I hate a lot of things actually. I don't eat a lot of things, but that doesn't mean I can't be healthy. I don't like a lot of the vegetables. I don't like a lot of fruits. But that doesn't mean I can't be healthy. It's about eating what you like and finding what works for you within the boundaries that you have set for yourself. So allowing yourself to have some treats here and there, but also knowing that, hey, I can enjoy the really healthy foods as well. I believe making room for eating what you like is really one of the most important things in your long-term health journey. Speaking of your long-term health journey, my next principle that I like to live by is to make it sustainable. How many people jump from diet to diet, restrictive diet, fad diet, all these different diets that are not sustainable, and that's why you don't see results for long term, because a lot of people are doing all these random things that aren't sticking to them because they're not sustainable and not enjoyable. Some people might tell you that, oh, go on this diet, it's really quick, and oh, it's fast. But I'm suggesting something different. I'm suggesting that people make sustainable, small changes that they can really add to their life that aren't going to overwhelm them or turn their world a whole 180, to really start building those habits and building upon the habits that they have built. Making sure it's sustainable and going to last them for the long term. Most people, correct me if I'm wrong, but most people want to be healthy for their whole life and keep their same weight for their whole life and not yo-yo diet and not go up and down. And the best way to do this is to slowly form sustainable habits that are going to benefit you in the long run. Yes, it takes longer. Yes, you don't see results as fast, but in the long term, it's much, much better for us. And having something sustainable that we can work towards always, rather than being discouraged when we gain and lose weight repeatedly, can be very helpful when trying to achieve a certain goal in your health journey. I never suggest anything that I don't think someone can do for a long term. If someone's really adamant about something, I tell them the risks and benefits and that they can try if they want, but my suggestion would be to do something else, something that can really benefit them, something that can be better suited for their lifestyle, and something that they can actually enjoy doing and stick to. The main thing when achieving any health goal is consistency. That's another word for sustainability. How long can you do this for? Can you sustain these habits? Are the habits that you're doing something that you can see yourself doing forever and ever until you're 90? Those are the types of lifestyle skills that I like to teach. I will never tell anyone to do something that I don't think they can do until they're old, because ultimately, my goal is to help you understand what you need to achieve your goals and keep them long term. So doing all these random things that are going to disrupt your cycle and mess up your normal habits that aren't benefiting you are really not beneficial for both parties. Because taking the time to really support and form those sustainable long-term habits that are gonna really benefit your overall health in the long run is one of the best things that we can do for ourselves. Speaking of habits, this brings me to my next principle of start small. This is probably the main concept of habit building. I'm not sure if any of you have read the books or listened to any podcasts around habit building. The Power of Habit's a good one, and Atomic Habits are also a good one. Now, I haven't read either of those, but I've heard many podcasts of the authors, and I've read many articles that refer to those books. Understanding habits and how they're formed, how they're broken, how our brain processes them is something so important for not only me, but anyone who really wants to change their habits. And I'll probably have a whole separate YouTube video about that. But I have to mention it here because it's one of my core principles, and it's about starting small and building on top of those small habits that we have formed. Anything is better than nothing, and I mean anything. If I can get someone to eat one more vegetable than they're eating, then that's a win. If I can get someone to walk outside for 5 minutes versus none, that's a win. It's all about starting those small habits and just showing up for yourself. Showing up is the hardest part. Once you show up consistently, repeatedly, and you're used to it, adding on a couple more minutes or adding an extra vegetable is not that challenging, but it's really about forming that initial habit. Ultimately, my goal isn't to get you to go run 10Ks tomorrow or go eat all the vegetables you can the next day. It's really to get you to implement those small habits and build that mindset towards it, making time for it in your schedule and prioritizing those healthy lifestyle habits that are gonna really improve you. Anyone that I know that has tried to implement something drastic never sticks to it for the long term. And as we said, things must be sustainable for them to last long term. For example, if someone wants to start eating more vegetables, they're not gonna just start only eating vegetables, but that's what many people do when they're starting these diets. They just cut out all the other foods and eat more vegetables, and then it's like, oh man, I miss my food, oh, this sucks. And they have a very negative mindset towards it. Versus the flip side, when you could just add some more vegetables to your current meal. Maybe add some broccoli or add some cauliflower or add whatever food you like. Because remember, eating what you like is also very important. When you just add a little bit more of something to what you're currently doing that is not as disruptive as switching up your whole routine and your habits, because our brain is very resistant to change. So any drastic changes like that are not gonna stick. Understanding psychology is something I'm super passionate about and aim to learn way more about to really maximize my work with people and the results they can get. The main thing is to start small and only build upon those habits once they are formed and solidified. And that's one thing to keep in mind when trying to form new habits. My next principle is to make it work for you. Have any of you heard the quote that nothing works unless you put in the work? Well, this is similar, but the work you're putting in also has to work for you. Things have to align with your schedule, align with your lifestyle. Maybe you have a significant other or a family and you have to make it work for them as well. Or maybe you have a crazy work schedule and you work graveyards. Or maybe you have people to take care of. Whatever it might be, you really have to make these habits that you're forming or these changes you're trying to make really work for you. This being said, it's really important to consider all the lifestyle factors and all the routines that you might have and consider where you can cut some time, fit this in here, really taking a look at your whole schedule to make it work for you. The other thing that really deters people from achieving their goals is that their goals seem too daunting or too disruptive, or it's really hard to make it work. When things are too challenging, they're not gonna get done. For example, if someone's really tight on time and they don't want to spend hours chopping up the vegetables, they're not going to eat the vegetables. But if someone buys frozen vegetables that are already pre-cut, that's going to really decrease that hesitance and that resistance to cooking those vegetables. And that makes it easier for them to work it in their schedule. So really thinking about how you can make things easier for yourself to really fit in these things you want to do or these changes you want to make in order for you to achieve your health or wellness goals and to make it work. And I will repeat what I said. Nothing works for you unless you put in the work, but you gotta make it work for you. Those were some of my top principles when it comes to health and wellness, things that I live by, and things that I follow when working with people to help them achieve their health goals. When thinking about these principles and values, I encourage you all to think about what might work for you, what might not, consider the other things that you've heard, and really determine what you can incorporate into your life to help you reach your goals if you might be struggling with them. I just want to share with you guys some of the key things that I think can really help you when thinking about health and wellness and overall long-term sustainability. We're all here to lead healthy and happy lives, and if any way I can help you guys get there, I definitely will. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all your support so far. I hope you found that video helpful and it gave you a little bit of a glimpse of how my mind works when I'm thinking about health and wellness. Leave me a comment below, give me some feedback, give me some topics of things you'd like to hear in future videos. I'd love to hear that. Next week, I'm talking about the difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian. Since I used to be a dietitian, I wanted to share the difference. If you have ever wondered what the difference is, then this video is for you. So click the notification bell below because you don't want to miss this one. Until then, if you haven't yet, check out my other two videos. I love talking about health and mindset, anything to help support a healthy lifestyle. Until next week, I hope you all are staying healthy, feeling good, and thriving. Thanks, guys.